TV and video are powerful tools to reach tens of millions of people. Just look at YouTube and its success. Today you'll meet some people besides us who are changing hearts and minds on critical issues like abortion. They're doing it by making quality video productions. Stay with us. John Morales is a former sportscaster with a passion for using his knowledge of media for the pro-life movement. John and his team are currently working on a film called 40 that tackles many arguments by pro-abortion activists. John hopes their film will be a catalyst for changing minds because he believes visual media is an essential tool in communicating with the masses.
I believe, Brad, that without a doubt, especially among the young people today, we live in a culture that is very visual. If we can use every possible means of communications, both television, film, radio, podcasts, social media, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, you name it, little by little, we're going to drop those nuggets of truth to touch people and to touch their hearts.
John, what inspired you to do this film called 40?
I am a post-abortive father who adopted a little boy. I just can't stand the reality that every single day in our nation, well over 3,000 innocent little babies are killed in their mother's womb, in abortion mills across our country, in abortion clinics. I find that number incomprehensible. I find that it goes on like a silent Holocaust. I feel like somebody needs to step up to the plate and put their faith into action and try to really make a difference in our nation, in our culture, in our world.
What are some of the biggest issues you tackle in the film?
Well, obviously the issue of abortion being a fundamental human rights issue, and that social justice begins in the womb. Young people particularly are very attracted to the idea of social justice, but you can't have social justice if it doesn't begin at the very moment of conception. So we want to hit both the intellect and the heart, because like I said before, our goal is to touch hearts.
Why did you name it 40?
Coming up on January 22nd of 2013, it'll be the 40th anniversary since that decision by the Supreme Court, Roe v. Wade, along with its companion decision that legalized abortion.
John, we'd like to show the viewers a brief trailer of the program that you've produced. Tell us a little bit about what they're going to see.
Well, what they're going to see is a myriad of leaders, pro-life leaders, along with some pro-choice folks, women who truly believe that it is a woman's right to choose. And so what you're going to see is a microcosm, just the tip of the iceberg, just a little sneak peek of what we hope to be able to bring to the big screen when we finish the film.
Pro-choice are saying they care so much about women. Well, I'm a woman.
Roe v. Wade is law of the land, and we need to maintain choice for everyone.
Let's have a conversation about reality. Okay, when abortion is illegal, women die.
No. Women are dying today in Planned Parenthood clinics, in clinics across this nation.
Abortion should be safe, legal, and rare. Well, the only thing right now out of those three that we're living with is that it's legal.
This is the greatest human rights abuse of our time.
These are women's rights. We just think that women can make their own decisions about their bodies.
What about the body of the child? I'm not asking people to say that the baby's rights supersede the mother's. You know, my argument is that they are equal.
It is not a baby. A baby is a fetus that has been born.
If you don't want to have an abortion, don't have one.
Women have a right to choose. It's our bodies.
Women deserve better. We deserve the truth. We deserve options.
A lot of people thought that they were helping women and really giving them the solution. And now people are, after all these years and all the years of suffering, more and more people are starting to come forward and say, look what it did to my life.
And so if you're looking at this film today and you're thinking you want to exercise your freedom of choice, just know that that freedom will be with you for the rest of your life. And that regret will never go away.
John, those are some really powerful words, devastatingly effective to the other side. Do you think that they're very concerned about this film coming out?
Well, when you see, as your viewers just finished watching, powerful testimony of someone like Yvonne Florzak-Seaman, her words resonate with truth. When you see the truth, it doesn't matter what side you're on. Just by virtue of being human, you're going to be touched. And it's not just Yvonne. We have many, many, many other all-star pro-life leaders who are going to bring a tremendous amount of compassion and passion to this film.
In a moment, we'll meet a young filmmaker who's trying to bring new perspectives to current hot topics.
Look around you. We're surrounded by people who courageously face difficult obstacles life has thrown in their paths. Tune in each week to meet people who show there are positive, godly solutions to tough, critical situations. This Emmy Award-winning show tackles challenging life issues such as abortion, stem cell research, and adoption, and shows every human life is valuable and precious. Join us for inspiring stories of people facing life head-on.
If you could just say, I want to live, they couldn't do this to you.
Adam Hardy is a student film producer who's constantly trying to bring new perspectives into his work. Inspired by the Terri Schiavo case from 2005, Adam decided to produce a film titled Hungry. It tells the story of a patient whose family and caretakers are fighting to save her life. The film took second place in Regent University's Real Dreams Film Competition and is a good indicator of Adam's bright future in media. Adam, why do you think film is such a powerful tool when communicating an issue such as this?
Part of it's a part of our tradition, and we've learned to enjoy story so much. And film just happens to be the most potent way to deliver stories en masse. Another thing is that film not only allows us to think about perspectives that we haven't thought about before, it helps us actually see it. And so it gives us a whole nother level of experience that is outside of our imagination and the text. And because of that, because we are such a visual culture, it often sticks with us, sometimes much longer.
What different issues have you taken on with video productions?
I most recently have been working to bring awareness to and impassion people regarding and then activate them against domestic sex trafficking. So that's something that's very prominent in our culture, much more than we realize, and is devastating. And so I've been working with a few projects on that for different nonprofits, and I'm working on a feature script right now.
Adam, your film, Hungry, had a different perspective than many other video presentations that I've seen anyway. Tell me a little bit about the film.
The viewpoint I wanted to come from in the film was mostly a first-person viewpoint from the person who's brain injured in the bed. And the purpose of that was to experience something that we haven't experienced before. And I wanted us to be able to feel the emotions of the injured person. I wanted us to feel the emotions of the family who was trying to keep her alive. I wanted us to feel the conflict in the caretakers who were there, who had to make certain decisions, and feel the motivations of the other portions of the family who wanted the feeding tube to be removed, because those were things that we didn't really get to think about. So we were able to get on the inside with this inside perspective and hopefully help us relate and ask ourselves, well, would I have done any differently?
What impact do you think, if any, you can have with your video in a media industry that's largely pro-abortion and anti-life?
I would like to further invite discussion. I know there's a lot of discussion and dialogue, discourse that goes on, but there's not a whole lot of invitation to speak, such as, so here's what I think, tell me what you think. The opportunity that comes with dialogue is to, I mean, there may be people that we very, very vehemently disagree with, but with opening up the opportunity for dialogue, that gives opportunity for relationship. And I think it is in relationship that people are actually able to shift other people's points of view.
Coming up, we'll visit a pregnancy care center that's using video and media in very effective ways.
Whether you're a student needing answers, a parent needing help, or a concerned citizen wanting to make a difference, Life Issues Institute has the resources you need to put your values into action. Life Issues Institute is an international educational organization committed to protecting innocent human life. Life Issues Institute knows what it takes. That's why millions throughout the world turn here for help. Life Issues Institute has authored more pro-life publications than any other entity in the world, and its materials are printed in over 30 languages. Radio broadcasts, newsletters, and a website filled to the brim with the answers you're looking for are just a click away. Go to facinglife.tv and click on the link to Life Issues Institute to find out more about how you can change the heart of a nation.
Over the past few years, the Women's Choice Network in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania has partnered with advertising company Vision for Life to increase the number of women they're reaching. Their combined efforts have resulted in successful television and internet ad campaigns benefiting women in crisis pregnancies in the urban community. Nurse Gloria Hale and Client Services Director Amy Beck found TV and internet ads to be the most effective way to get women to walk through their door. Now, based upon your experience of a project you've undertaken, how effective has media been in reaching women who are facing unexpected pregnancies?
Well, I know from having 2 teenagers that that's where they're at all the time. They are watching TV on the computer, checking Facebook 5 times a day. And so if that's where they're living, that's where I want to be advertising. And so it has definitely changed the look of our ministry. The phones ring like you wouldn't believe. In our first campaign, there was 147 calls.
TV campaign.
Yes. And that's on top of what we already get.
Which medium is the most effective?
I think TV is the most effective, especially because we pick key stations that they'll be on. Specifically, what TV stations do you air on? We air on BET and MTV, and the commercials vary. There's all different commercials that they can choose from, and we do see clients from every different commercial that airs. Tell me about your partnership with Vision for Life. Vision for Life has been a huge support in what we do, and they see it as bigger than just one office in one city. They see us as a whole, and they've been a huge support. They come to all of our open houses and things that we do and encourage us. So they're just more than just, we're going to raise some money and advertise for you. They're beside you all the time. So without them, you wouldn't have the campaigns you're doing now? Absolutely not. Not at all.
What's more effective for the women we're reaching is the internet advertising and the TV advertising on BET and MTV.
Tell me about the latest TV ad campaign that you did targeting African American women here in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. The African American population, according to the last census, in Pittsburgh proper, just the city, is 26%, so roughly 1 out of 4. Comcast allows us to target our advertising, and it turns out we're buying all of the BET area in Pittsburgh. But so 26% of the population is African American, 42% of the abortions in PA are to African Americans. This is a great way to know that you're bringing your ads before the people who are more likely to be seeking an abortion.
So we realized about 3 years ago that the abortions were happening more and more in that African American community, and that's where we wanted to be. We had a lot of suburban centers, and we wanted to open offices in that urban community. And you open it and it's great and they start coming, but more need to come. And so then the advertising had to come alongside that, and the advertising is specifically geared toward the African American woman.
Gloria, give me some specifics of the women that you've helped and what you remember about them.
I can think of one, that comes to mind right away, that she came in for a pregnancy test, which was positive. She wasn't quite far enough along for an ultrasound, which is usually about 6.5 weeks or so. So we did make an appointment for her to come back within a week and a half or 2 weeks. And she did come back for that second appointment, but at that point she brought the boyfriend, who was the father of her baby, with her. As we were taking her back to prep her for the ultrasound, she told us at that point, I'm really having some second thoughts. I'm really thinking about terminating this pregnancy. So, did what we had as far as paperwork, got her set up for the ultrasound, brought the father of the baby back. She had seen some pictures herself, but when he came back, the ultrasound was in progress, obviously, and he walked in and saw that heartbeat, and he just said right there, there's no way that I can do this. I can't terminate this pregnancy. And that's when it starts. And it's just a neat thing to witness. That's a powerful thing to be a part of, and to see that, them realize what's going on and what they have.
Does it really bring home the reason you're here when you see the pictures on the wall of babies you've saved and the women you've helped?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And even as they get bigger, like there's cute babies, and you can't believe that little baby was on the screen and now he's here, but then to watch him grow, and I had one run up, "Hey Amy," and so now they're talking, and they're just beautiful little people growing and going off to school, and so it's really neat to see them even past that.
Amy, do you think you're molding the future for the pro-life movement by taking part in this ad campaign?
Absolutely. If the other centers could get a hold of this, media campaigns, and I think that if we hit it from every side, if each area, television, internet, media advertising is going on all over this country, and all those women are starting to go to more and more pregnancy centers, how many more babies would be saved? I mean, there's a whole lot of people to reach out there, and we need to reach them all.
When we return, we'll hear from Adam, John, Amy, and Gloria about what the future holds for pro-life voices in the media.
Look around you. Everyday heroes abound in our country. We're surrounded by people who courageously face difficult obstacles life has thrown in their paths. Tune in each week to meet people who show there are positive, godly solutions to tough, critical situations. We'll tackle challenging life issues such as abortion, stem cell research, adoption, and abstinence, and show that every human life is valuable and precious. Join us for inspiring stories of people facing life head-on.
TV and video are some of the most powerful tools used to reach millions of people. But getting your video seen by these millions can be challenging, especially in a media landscape filled with pro-abortion messages. But as the pro-life movement grows, so will the reach of the truth. And our guests are hopeful the future will be filled with more pro-life voices in the media. In today's media landscape, John, do you think that the pro-life issue is overpowered by the pro-abortion viewpoint?
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. In fact, it makes me crazy every year, the day of the March for Life on January 22nd. I always would watch, NBC, ABC, CBS, CNN, just to see what they're doing. And it would really bug me. It would bother me that there's hundreds of thousands of people on the National Mall marching on the anniversary of Roe, and yet there might be a 15 or 20-second, what we call in the business, a reader, if that. There's no images, there's no story, and it drives me crazy every year that the national media just ignores the March for Life, let alone all the successes of the pro-life movement.
What do you think the future holds if people like you, centers like this, continue to use the medium of video and film to further the pro-life message?
Oh, I'd like to think that instead of going to Planned Parenthood's doors, they'll be coming through our doors. As Amy said, I think that's that's probably what we've seen so far. It has had the best effect of getting them to come to our place.
So one life saved makes it all worth it?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I think of one that I've stayed in contact with, and on the bad days at work, I think about that one little guy and look at his picture, and that's it. I'm ready to keep going.
What do you think the future holds if more young people like you get into these controversial issues in society and really represent the most vulnerable among us?
I think the future can look very, very exciting. We have so many different talented people, and if we are able to, I guess, set an example, there are so many more who will follow after. It's something where people